because of frame rules. It looks like the race is about to start.
Yep.
And yeah, here we go.
All right, they're off.
So it looks like Ben is getting the safe strat where one gets the power up in the first 2 levels, whereas ImDangerous decides not to take power ups in 1-1. So I'm thinking we go either for very risky strats or small fire. We'll see.
Yep. Interestingly enough, ImDangerous had just a tiny little hiccup in the underground section, which kind of synced him up right there. And then we see all kinds of just like they went into the pipe in the underground at the same time, but then you see all the little differences in speed between All Stars and the NES version, where
just going for the risky stuff. Okay, he decides not to go for the pipe jump, similar to what did Takata yesterday. Guma was pretty close.
So my least favorite thing about the All-Stars version just happened to Ben, which is that he jumped up and crushed a block in the ceiling, and doing that actually stopped his momentum and made him drop straight down.
That can happen in SMB 1 as well, but it's way more rare. That sometimes happens in the original SMB 1 too. I had that sometimes against Bowser, and that's painful.
Yeah, it happens all the time in All Stars, and it's one thing that makes it makes some sequences just a little bit trickier, so that you don't weirdly get your momentum stopped.
Yeah, but with the 260 on the timer, so he did a pretty clean 1-3. ImDangerous, he had to slow down a little bit to avoid the 6 on the timer, and as we have chance to mention, getting 6 in the timer at the end of a level will cause it to a longer cutscene because fireworks get shot. In that case, a lot of time loss. I think
ImDangerous is going for small fire. So this is a weird glitch where if you hit Bowser and the axe at the same time, the game reduces your HP but doesn't have time to actually make Mario small. So now you're big Mario, except if you get hit, you die. And you can collect a mushroom, as he just did, and it makes you small Mario, where you can get hit. And then you can collect fire in this state, and now you're small fire Mario. It's a weird glitch, but it's good to... A lot of people prefer to do it because it does take a little bit of extra time to set up, since you have to collect an extra power-up, you gotta wait for Bowser to come near the axe and all that kind of stuff. But now he has the benefits of a small Mario hitbox, while also having the benefits of having firepower.
Yeah, it's very important. Fun fact, when you shoot, you actually have the big fire sides for like a couple of frames. So you have this weird effect where Mario has the small fire body from the bottom and the big fire Mario body from the top. So it's just this weird cutoff that you may be able to see when ImDangerous will shot.
Yeah, it looks a little strange.
Yeah. And then just at the bottleneck, he gets it, no problem. Easy pattern with just one blopper.
And yeah, so besides the little bit of extra time that it takes to set up, the other risky thing about small fire is when you take damage, that puts you back. Just like this.
Exactly as happened right now.
See, now ImDangerous is in the state where he's big, he has a large hitbox, and if he gets hit, he dies. Which is a very precarious position to be in.
Yeah, especially in 2-3 where there are a lot of cheap chips flying all around. And sometimes avoiding these cheap chips is very hard, if not impossible. So this is a pretty scary situation for ImDangerous. And especially because if he dies, he loses the small fire status. So in order to restore it, he will need to repeat the glitch again at another Bowser.
That's right, yep. Okay. Very good cheap dodges there. Yeah. Moving back and forth. Oh my gosh, it set that one up in a really bad spot.
Yeah. Today cheap chips are not really friendly with ImDangerous. They are causing him a lot of troubles. But not too bad. It still gets at 237, which is a good time when you get the power up here. It allows you to dodge fireworks pretty... so it's still good.
You can take 6 on the timer for Ben.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, now ImDangerous can actually take this power up here, and then I suppose he will take another one in 3-1. So I should be good unless something bad happens here in 2-4, but this pretty straightforward Bowser battle, so he gets it no problem with a pretty good time. And then in the meantime, rebuild his power-ups from the beginning. He takes the elevators slowly, and don't blame him for that.
And one thing that we didn't explicitly point out last time, or in World 1, is that the main thing that makes All-Stars take more time is the end of a castle here, where Ben actually has to wait for the timer to tick down at the end of a castle, while the NES version doesn't do that.
Yeah, this is probably the biggest difference between the two games, since Ben will lose compared to ImDangerous around like 4 or 5 seconds at the end of every world. So this actually stacks up pretty quickly, and it's a big issue for Ben. It's probably the biggest disadvantage of playing on the All-Star version rather than on the NES version, definitely. But despite this, Ben is not that far from ImDangerous, so this race is still good.
Yeah, very much so.
Both players are in a pretty easy part of the game. 3-2 is a flat stage where you only have to dodge a couple of enemies. The only tricky part is this final jump, but if you kill enough enemies before, it becomes very easy. If you don't kill any enemies there, you have 3 Goombas at the bottom of the staircase, and that jump becomes a lot tighter because you have way less room to actually land before the staircase, and the jump becomes significantly harder. So I think this strat has been pulled off, has been showcased by Goofy. He has been one of the first to showcasing it, so it is said that this strat is from Goofy, but I cannot really tell for sure that. I don't know who actually discovered it.
Yeah, and another reason also, since we're asking, that a runner may choose to run All-Stars in a race setting specifically, is that the NES version of the game, you start out with 3 lives, while in the All-Stars version, you start out with 5 lives. So if things get dicey in a race, sometimes All-Stars might give you an edge there, where you don't have to take a continue and have to restart a world.
Nice and safe. 3-4 in the meantime for ImDangerous. He decided to take level slowly by slowing down at every podoboo. It's a fair choice. I mean, you don't gain that much by playing this level risky and challenging every podoboo and every firebar here, so for races it's a pretty good strat. Of course, when you do PB attempts you wanna challenge everything, but this is not the case. And also Ben with a pretty good 3-4, so I think there's around a level of difference between the two, so this is still a pretty close race.
Yeah, and 3-4 is a level that really shows one thing that you were talking about earlier, which was the podoboos being easier to dodge in the All-Stars version. In 3-4, Ben was able to very easily jump under all those podoboos, while they tend to go a lot lower in the NES version.
They are not a threat if you go full speed, because the podoboos will always be at maximum height, so you don't even need to care about them. So Ben with the 4-1 ending, and ImDangerous with the top route in 4-2. There's this very long debate between top route and bottom route. It is more an aesthetical choice, and depends more also what you feel more comfortable with. Because at the end of the day, there's no difference between the two routes. The top route is probably easier. It is just slightly slower, but not enough slower to make it actually slower because of frame rules. So it depends.
Ben doing a bustin' up strat in 4-2 here, very interesting. So it looked like he was starting to go bottom route, but then he took top route instead via bustin' up.
He actually decided to take top route after the hardest part of the bottom route finished, because after the vine there are these 2 big pipes you have to pass very carefully because of the piranha plants, and then the bottom route becomes not that threatening. So this is I guess this is what he feels more comfortable with, so simply because of that. And Dangerous 4-4, not the wall clip. Of course, you cannot do the wall clip as small fire. One of the advantages being small fire, Mario, is that fireball that ImDangerous just passed is not a threat at all. Because they are just small, you don't need to crouch. Whereas if you have a big fire, that fireball is pretty tight to dodge. It's very hard. And I have countless runs that die to that fireball, unfortunately. And not just me, almost every big fire runner has. So yeah, this is pretty good advantage, and we will see something similar even in 5-4 and 6-4. And those levels become a lot easier with small fire Mario. This is also the reason why many runners opt to go for it, because the payoff is having a safer and easier castle, which is pretty good. And Dangerous with the 5-1, he had to slow down a little bit to avoid fireworks. And in the meantime, Ben is about to start War 5, so ImDangerous is definitely increasing his gap.
So 5-2 has the shot at the beginning, that nasty cannon. He got a shot from it, but slowed down enough to recognize it.
Yeah, the safe bet here in 5-shoot is to just bonk on the third step, and because I mean, if the cannon doesn't shoot, you're gonna lose like a second. But if it does shoot and you get hit, you're gonna lose like 6 or 7 seconds. So overall, the payoff, the better choice on average is just to do what ImDangerous did, no matter what.
Yep.
This is what most of the runners do.
So now Ben comes up to the beginning of 5-2, and he does not get a cannon shot. So both players are managed to get past that.
And in the meantime, nice 5-3.
Yeah, very
clean.
So
clean 5-3.
Yeah, one thing to point out is just the fact that World 5 is where this game starts to get really, really tough in a speedrun setting. Because of the cannon at the beginning of 5-2 can be really nasty. The bullet bills in 5-3 are pretty insane. And then the approach to Bowser that we're about to see ImDangerous do is, I think, maybe the hardest part in the game to not get hit.
Yes.
This part right here. Firebar, 2 Potaboos, Bowser's shots, extra Potaboo. There's just so much business in the way of right there. Yes,
but with small fire, everything becomes fairly easier, as you will see. The ImDangerous did a great job, but with big fire, all that stuff that is already hard with a small hitbox becomes even harder with a big fire hitbox. And this is even more, one more time proof that actually small fire is a pretty viable strat for races, because 5-4 becomes significantly easier than usual with that.
Yep, because we'll see Ben coming up here on that same Bowser approach, but he is big Fire Mario, so he's got a little bit more work to do as far as... Oh, right, but the Potaboos go really high!
Unfortunate.
But yeah, he did get a really nasty Bowser shot there. Didn't die, though. Still makes it through. He'll just have to collect power-up. Well, he doesn't have to, but he'll likely collect power-ups on 6-1.
Yeah, 6-2 is a very hard level. A small Mario, especially in the All-Star version, because, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think in the All-Star version, you have to face every Piranha Plant in every pipe, because there are no despawnings, so 6-2 on the All-Star version is even harder than on the NES version, but I'm not sure about that. Probably is. So they decided not to take the first mushroom. He decides to take it here, so we're probably gonna see what we saw yesterday, when actually Marek did this exact choice, taking the mushroom in 6-1, then the fire flower in 6-2. He didn't want to challenge the Lakitu at the beginning. And meanwhile, ImDangerous is sailing through 6-3 pretty smoothly.
Yeah, looking good.
A pretty safe ending. So approaching another hard castle, 6-4. This is another castle where here having the more fire hitbox is I mean, it's not that different from Big Fire Mario. The level is not much harder with the Big Fire hitbox, but still.
So Ben is in 6-2 right now. One big difference with this particular level is pretty much every single pipe gets a Piranha Plant in the All-Stars version. I think actually every single pipe does. While in the NES struggles to actually load every one of the Piranha Plants, so it just skips a bunch of them.
Yes, there's a sprite limit in the NES version. I think that the maximum is 3 or 4, so you cannot have more than 3 Piranha Plants at the same time on the screen. So that's why most of the plants don't even spawn. That makes the level likely easy. Ooh, no, it didn't slow down enough at the end of 7-1, so ImDangerous is gonna take 3 fireworks, which will cost him like a second, not a big deal.
Ooh, very nice improvisation Ben just had to do. He got a really nasty bullet bill, which made him have to drop down to the low route on 6-3, but he made it out pretty quickly.
I think Ben is doing a very, very, very good race. I think his run is very good. He's playing pretty smoothly. He had a couple of hiccups too. Nice.
Yeah, very nice 6-4 intro.
And here, unfortunately, got very unlucky because most of the time that Fireball is well aligned, but it wasn't the case, unfortunately, for Ben. So, even again, not really lucky with Castle RNG. Even the hit it took in 5-4 was just RNG because there was no way he could have avoided that fire zone. It was just there. There's nothing he could have done. And even here in 5-4, in 6-4, that Fireball was just low. But still, pretty solid run. Unfortunately, ImDangerous is pretty far at this point. There are 2 levels of difference, but still Ben is pulling off a pretty sick race. He may be even in PB pace. I don't want to jinx him too much, but maybe this.
Yeah, he's doing very well, and if he can keep fire through... Oh no, why did I curse him? Oh.
Yeah, I contribute a little bit as well. But yeah, we are sorry. I mean, apologize for that. That was unlucky again because he got like that kind of cold shot him, and really nothing he could have done there. So,
yeah, that was super rough.
Yeah, he's playing really well, Ben, but he's not getting really lucky. I mean, a lot of bad swings for him.
We'll see if he uses the duck swim, though. We haven't talked about that yet, where if you initiate swimming from a ducking position, it's just like duck jumping, where it makes your hitbox smaller. Basically, the top half of Mario, if you do this, will not have an active hitbox.
You may have done it right now. Maybe not sure. In the meantime, ImDangerous with a nice 344 on the timer, 7-4. 344 is a pretty sick time here, 7-4, so very nice job. And ImDangerous, I think, is on a sub 20 pace for sure. It should be like on a 1940 pace, 1930, 1940 pace. Two very good runs for both players at the end of the day.
Yeah, this is looking really good. And ImDangerous is he is, we should point out, has kept small fire this entire race. I mean, he is cruising, and his 8-1 now that he 8-1 is it's very good to have fire here, since you can pretty safely jump and shoot piranha plants and not really have to slow down at all in this level.
Yes.
Ben just collected fire, so hopefully he'll keep that through 7-4, and he'll also be able to tackle 8-1 with firepower.
Yeah.
Since it's even more important on the All-Stars version.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Otherwise, Ward A without the Fire Flower, I think, is even harder in All-Star version. And ImDangerous only lost the Fire Flower in I think in World 2 twice, or twice or once, I don't remember. And from there he just played very smoothly. So very good run from ImDangerous thus far. Also Ben is playing really well. Oh, never mind. That's not a very pleasant spot to lose the Fire Flower, because now he has to deal with the big hitbox and just the sudden death situation.
Yes.
Oh, that's the bullet bill. There's a bullet bill setup. There's a bullet bill setup. No!
He went for it.
He got frame rule. He basically.
I enjoyed the improvisation there, because that's like pretty much the toughest part of the game, at least one of them, and having to do that as Biggie Smalls Mario is pretty nasty. So to take that situation and go for bullet bill glitch is twice as good.
Decides to play safe here by going for the power up. Actually, he actually got the bullet bill glitch. He didn't get it because of bad luck. Basically, you can do all the perfect movements, and you only have like 50% chance of getting it because the game checks for hitbox attention every 2 frames. So if you hit the bullet bill at the wrong frame, you don't get the bullet glitch. So he was just unlucky on Dangerous, but I think he did the setup pretty perfectly, and it just didn't work. That was really unlucky. And actually, I think that there's no difference in bullet bill glitch between big and small Mario. You can get it pretty much the same. The hitbox is irrelevant. But yeah.
All right. ImDangerous in 8-4 now. Yes, let's see if he gets the wall jump. He does.
He got it.
He hit the pixel though. Yep.
He hit the pixel. Yes. Hit the pixel, but he wasn't lucky enough. He actually
very
has
good turnaround room.
Yeah, he has a big margin, so even if ImDangerous dies, he still have a pretty solid lead. He could even afford a death, of course. We just are hoping for him to actually get get the win here, possibly in less than 20 minutes.
This looks like it's going to be a sub 20 run from ImDangerous.
And ooh,
There it is.
okay.
Absolutely
yeah.
beautiful. Sub 20 run from ImDangerous. That is so good.
Yeah, that ending was a bit scary because he passed underneath Bowser the very last moment. So for a while I took the word for him, but luckily enough he managed to pass and touch the axe in 90 minutes for 54 seconds. And funny enough, I think that ImDangerous got the sub 20 win in the race he lost against Aldin speedruns.
Ooh,
so right
nice
now,
safe strat from Ben here. He got hit, so he despawned those Hammer Bros before going back for the mushroom, so that he could make sure that he wasn't gonna have to deal with them. So now he can get through these Hammer Bros as Big Mario, which is very good because he got that really nasty third Hammer Bro that throws his hammer early. Excellent, excellent. So now Ben moving on to the castle as well, and we'll see how fast he finishes up.
Yeah. So yeah, Ben is in the final castle with small Mario. With small Mario. And a very good pace for him, I think. He could get sub 22 minutes, which would be very good time for Ben. So let's see what he gets. I don't know if he can do the wall jump, by the way, here in the All-Star version. I'm not confident with that, so I'll leave that to you.
I haven't run the All-Stars version since I started doing the wall jump, so I'm actually not sure.
I never played the All-Star version, so I really know anything about it. Apart from, I played the Super Mario Advance version of Game Boy Advance, which is exactly the Super Mario Bros. 3 you have on the All-Star version. So
that was really interesting. He went for the kind of the normal strat on the Hammer Bro, while usually I see people jump up on the pipe and then jump over the Hammer Bro. But yeah, there we go. He makes it in with a 21:52, looking good. Very good run from Ben.
Nice job, Ben. Nice job. GG, Ben. Also GG to ImDangerous. And by the way, he's here with us. So hi, and
Hi.
Congrats for the win.
Thank you.
Very nice race, especially from World 2. You had that unfortunate hit at 2-2. You struggled a little bit also in 2-3 with those very unfortunate cheap chips, and from there you just destroyed this run. You played really well, and I also think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is your second sub 20 minutes run. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think I got a 1956 last race. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, you got 1956. Yes, so you get a pretty similar times. So this shows very good consistency on your side. Unfortunately, you encountered all these speedruns was just on Rampage that day, so you got very unlucky on that side. But yeah. So also we have Ben with us. Congrats, Ben, for the race. GG. It was a very good run. I think you played really well.
Yeah, it was pretty decent, I guess. I had a small hiccup. Can't remember. There was one place that disappointed me, but that was like 38 seconds off PB. I think it might have been no death. But
yeah, I think you got that less actually.
Yeah, I think the only opportunity I had was maybe a death in 8-3. So I actually played it a bit safe in 8-2, but then I got hit in 8-3 anyway, because it's just always how it is. You've got fire, you're like, yeah, this is easy. Instantly just, I don't know, make a mistake.
Yeah, you had a couple of hiccups here and there, which are actually, they are perfectly legit in a race setting. Playing perfectly in this framework is hard as hell. So, you are also pretty experienced runners. You run a lot of other games, so you know pretty well how hard it is. So,
yeah,
definitely a good job for you. And I think you played a pretty good tournament, so you can actually leave pretty content about your performance overall. So that was a pretty nice tournament on your side.
I agree. I was secretly rooting for ImDangerous because I think ID could really take this as far as anybody else. I'm kind of just in here to have fun. I'm playing on SNES still. Well, not still, but it's just for fun.
Yeah, exactly. This is the spirit. This
Maybe
spirit.
next time. I don't know. I'm just always happy to join in and have a bit of fun. So,
Yeah. And we're
Thanks
happy
so
to
much.
see you. And I agree with what you're saying about I'm Dangerous also putting up multiple sub 20s already in the tournament. I mean, it's hard for most people to compete with that.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
agree.
definitely.
At some point, I'd really like to race Cosmic on All Stars. He very recently got world record in this, and the first sub 20, I believe, 1955. That's like 2 minutes. 2 minutes off world record my run, and it is kind of more challenging at the lower end of things as well. Maybe, I'm not sure, but I think that's the case.
Yeah, I mean, it's just what
I guess
the
Cosmic
hitbox
comes to
is.
that there unofficially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're gonna have both Cosmic and GTIs playing later in the evening.
Wow. Oh, wow, what a matchup. Yeah,
Yeah,
I can't wait.
not Cosmic, not Cosmic versus GTIs. I mean, Cosmic and GTIs will play their match. So
Oh,
so,
well, that's still pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. So speaking of, that's in just a few hours at 9 Eastern. We have GTAs versus Kaku, which
Oof,
should be
what a matchup.
insane. Because
Yeah.
Kaku is such a good racer.
Yeah.
And then a couple hours after that, at 11 Eastern, we have Cosmic versus Alden Speedruns, which should also be fantastic. So
Yeah,
we have
definitely.
a super stacked tournament schedule for later tonight.
Yeah, I actually don't understand how GTAs versus Kaku is just a round 3 match, because I mean, the level. That's looking at the level of the players. You would expect a match like that way later in the tournament. Unfortunately, this is how seeding worked. So they had to face each other so early in the tournament. So this is pretty unfortunate. And I would say that we here in the chat, we are actually all interested pretty closely to what matches, because I'm Dangerous is advancing in the next round of loser brackets. It's actually gonna face the loser of the match between Kaku and GTS. So yeah, I'm Dangerous. You're gonna know the. Let me double check if I'm correct. Yes, I'm correct. So you're gonna know your next opponent very shortly.
Yep.
And also, me and Dash are also interested in the matchup between Cosmic and Alden Speedruns. Whoever wins between us is gonna face the winner between Cosmic and Alden Speedruns. So we are
Okay,
only interested in those races.
Sorry, oops. Before I leave, I'm Dangerous. That was an outstanding run. I really, really enjoyed watching that.
Yeah,
I think you're going to do very well going ahead. Yeah, just big congrats. Thanks again for the race. Really appreciate it. And thanks both for the commentary. Yeah, that's awesome.
No problem at all. So thanks you for joining the race. Congrats for the run. GG again, and yeah.
Cheers.
GG.
We will see you
Thanks,
around.
everybody, and we'll see you later for the other races.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Yep. Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye bye.